So I just wanted to show a trick here before I put this model together. But you can see all this writing right here. Now normally you would just sand that off, but you can see there's some detail around it. This actually looks like it has like rivets on it, so you don't want to sand that off, and you don't want to sand off this spacer here. So it's not that it can't be done, but there's an easier way to do it sometimes. It's just to cut a small thin piece of plastruct and just pop it in there on those hard to reach places, and then what we'll do is we'll just glue that down, and then I'm going to shift it over just a little bit, and that's it. And now it's covered up and nobody will really notice it because it looks like part of the bottom of the chassis, and it effectively covers up that lettering. And believe me, cutting out that small piece of plastic was a lot simpler and easier than trying to get some type of sandpaper or a sanding tool inside that small space. So sometimes you have to cheat a little. But I just want to bring this up before I assemble the whole model. You won't be able to see that anymore. It will be invisible. Okay, that's it for that. So I'm moving on to another new kit. Still have a couple to finish up, but they're coming around. I don't know that I'll finish them today, but I started this kit yesterday. Made the decision to go ahead and build this one. And it's not so much that I'm a Chevy Luv fan, but it's a 4x4. It's got some lifted suspension, so I thought that was cool. It actually has a V8, has a small block Chevy in it. That's even better. Running a V8 in a small pickup truck. Those all seem like good points to buy it. And it was at a good price. So that's what we're going with. And not so much an unboxing because, like I say, yesterday I was already starting on it, but the cab itself has a separate part for the back. I don't know why some model companies do that, but it just seems, I don't know why they do it. I don't see any advantage to that myself, but maybe there's a reason for that. So I'll have to glue that on and paint that up. But overall it looks good. I haven't cleaned off any seams or anything like that yet. It has a sunroof molded in there if you wanted to cut that out, but I'm going to pass on that on this build. Just a regular bed. These are similar to a Japanese truck in that they have these hooks on the side like some Japanese trucks used to have back then. And these wheel well fender flares seem to be like an add-on. I don't know if they were an add-on on the real trucks or not. I'd have to look at some pictures, or if they even had those. I'm not sure. So I guess you could paint them black. They are black on the picture of the box. But then again, I could paint them body color, so I haven't decided on that. I probably will just paint them body color. Because I know I had a Nissan Frontier, and those were painted body color, and I actually liked that. So that's probably the way that I'll go. And so it's got that. It has a simple interior, bench seat, 3 pedals. I think this has a manual transmission. And it has a little bit of detail for the door panels, not a lot. There's not going to be a lot going on in the interior, like most pickup trucks. Small black Chevy, kind of typical. Like I say, it has a manual transmission. Seems like all the old kids have manual transmissions, right? What's up with that? I guess, so, you know, nowadays you got a special order to get a manual transmission. And I can understand that if you live in a city like I do. I mean, having a manual transmission and stop and go traffic, you know, on your way to work and on the way back and everywhere you go, that just doesn't cut it. You get tired of that. Believe me, real quick. Here's the taller springs that the kit uses in the front, I imagine, to raise the body up from the suspension and give it that extra lifted truck look. I know there is another Chevy Luv kit out from Revell. It's yellow on the box. Same thing, it has a small block Chevy. I think it's pretty much the same kit, but it just has probably a different chassis maybe. I don't know. I never built one. I may get one somewhere down the line if it doesn't get too expensive. I would probably build that one too, but this one really, being a 4x4, it was more interesting to me. Here we have the shocks, which are kind of long. These are the I don't know, lifting blocks, whatever you want to call them, that go on the rear leaf springs to lift that up. And actually, these leaf springs, you can see that they have a serious arch in them. So again, that's another way to lift a truck up, is to re-arch the springs. Back in the day, they probably did that. Nowadays, if you buy a kit, they're going to make the springs specifically for a lift vehicle. They're not going to re-arch, you know, OEM springs or something crazy like that. I have re-arched springs before actually for some heavy trucks a few times in my life, and that's not easy work. Taking away a giant spring assembly off the back of a cement truck, taking it apart, replacing one or two broken springs, re-arch everything, and then put them back together. It's not fun. So here we have the wheel backs, front suspension. Again, this is 4-wheel drive. It's got the pumpkin on it, and that looks like it for that sprue. By the way, this one has the tailgate in it, and it looks like the tailgate will fold down. Radiator, fan, belts, little tiny air cleaner. I'll probably replace that. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to build this. Well, it's not stock anyway, so I don't really have to worry about that. There's the engine heads, the intake, mirrors, timing cover, I guess, or maybe that's the. Wow, that's what is that? That transfer case? That's like tiny. That's like, I don't know. That's a little tiny transfer case. There's a brush guard for the front. Steering wheel, looks like some kind of pan, roll pan or something for the back, for the bumper. Front spindles. This has tiny shocks on it, so I'm not sure if that works with this. Might be for the 2-wheel drive version. I'm not sure. Here's another panel for the front or rear, or for the something. This is the hinge from the front. I had forgotten on these trucks. I mean, I have seen them before in real life, but I had forgotten that, like a Japanese truck, or maybe they were. I don't know if the Luvs were based on a Japanese truck. Again, I should have researched it before, but you know, when you're building a model, you're just winging it anyway. I mean, I'm not going to build it stock to begin with, but the hood has this square in it. When I first saw that, I was thinking, oh, maybe at one time this kit had a tilt front end or something. But now I seem to remember, especially after seeing this here, the hinge part, is that these hoods open up this way in the front, like a 57 Ford, or a lot of European cars. Some Japanese cars back in the day did that too, so you know, that was, some cars do that. I think a Jaguar, like an XKE, does that, or yeah, well, the whole front end on an XKE folds up. Maybe an XJS, not sure, but anyway, the hood folds up this way, which would be kind of cool as far as displaying the engine. And all that wheel backs does come with headers, so that's cool. So you know those are gonna fit, being as they come with this. This looks like, again, there's 2 shocks on this. I don't know what it's for. So it's for the front. I'm guessing it's for the front. I don't know. But I think those long springs, I think those long shocks are what go on this one, unless those are the rears. But I'm pretty sure these shocks probably go in the front because they're long, like those springs. Here's the chassis. You saw at the beginning of this video I made a modification here. So I just went ahead and did that. I cleaned this up a little bit. I'm not sure what color I'm going to paint this, but I'm going to have to detail out the gas tank. Back then I'm pretty sure that was metal. And then that's for the spare tire, which seems kind of weird because I'm not sure how you would get to that. There's no whole like recessed area or tool door or something like that in the bed, so I'm not sure how you can reach that. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up and see. I don't know how you would get the spare out of there. Here's the typical 70s wagon wheel that were so popular with 4x4s back in the day. Often painted in white, like you see here on the box. You saw a lot, I guess that's white, that could be silver. But you used to see a lot of these in white because the white ones were the cheapest ones. You know, they were a lot cheaper than the chrome ones. So hey, if you were building a vehicle on a budget, you went for the white ones, and that's why you saw them. They were also known for rusting. Sometimes the water after a time would sit inside. If you didn't drive the vehicle every day, the water would sit inside the wheel, and then of course it would start rusting right in there in the lip of the rim. And then, you know, if your dog peed on it enough times, that would make it rust too over time. Here's the step bumper, I guess, for the back. Here's the grill. Got the Chevy emblem on the front. Just no-name valve covers with fins on them. Side pipes. This truck runs side pipes. I'm not a fan of side pipes, but since there's no molded in exhaust and there's no other separate exhaust, if these hook up to the header, so I guess that's the way we're going to go. Nothing else on there, so like a front piece for the bumper area in the front. And that's about it. I can show you the decals. You get several paint schemes depending on what color you paint it. I would like to paint this orange. Like the box. I have to get some orange paint, but right now I'm checking through my paint and seeing what I have, and that may determine. Well, I thought it was molded in orange, but evidently not, obviously. But it looks good in orange. I don't know about the hood being black, and also I don't know why the bed is black. Like it doesn't look like it has a rhino finish or nothing like that. It's very smooth. It does have runners in the bottom, but not for the typical, you know, wood and metal runners in there. So I don't know what that is, unless that's like a bed mat or something. Again, I'd have to look that up and see if that's the way they came. Yeah, so I'm not sure about the color yet. But anyway, you get all these colorful decals depending on what paint scheme you pick. Actually, a tan color would look good if you put these orange ones on there. Instead of painting it orange, you could put the orange decals on there. We got Chevrolet decals, KC daylighters, gauges. Look at those gauges; they're oval. What is that? What is it? Oh yeah, they are oval. There's the dashboard. Oval gauges. That's unusual. Looks like this one might have had air conditioning too at one time. So that's what we got there. We got some nice tires, no name on them, just typical whatever tires, generic tires, good beefy tires. So yeah, you're gonna have to lift that up because that definitely ain't gonna fit in the wheel well. Let's see, we got some different clear parts. It does have the sunroof in there. So like I say, if you cut that out of the roof, it comes with a clear part to put in there. Back window, front window, tail lights, different other lights. I'm not sure what those are. There's two odd lights, two clear parts right there and here. This must be, maybe this truck at one time, this must be for the yellow truck, because I think the yellow truck has a camper top on it. So these clear pieces must be for that camper top. There is no camper top in this version of the kit. So actually it looks like there's two different wind glass pieces for the moon, the sunroof. A smaller one looks like that's what that's for. And then these are the porthole windows, probably for that camper shell top thing for the other version. So, and that's about it. That's what we're working on. So I started on the engine, obviously, and then I've been cleaning up some parts, and I've been fooling around. I'm going through some of my old paints and making sure that they're good, because I have a lot of older paints in cans. So I put them in hot water, I let them heat up, I shake them up really well, and then I shoot them on a piece of cardboard or paper or whatever I have. You know, stuff I just get out of the recycle bin. And then just to make sure that everything works and how it lays, and I've already done that with a few cans, and the cans are toast. Paint's too old, can't bring it back. So I would of course like to, if I don't do that, I'll order some new paint, but it's a money thing. So I'm trying to save money and use older paints that I already have if I can. I do have some clear, so even if I shoot something and it's matte, I can clear coat it. So we'll see how that goes. But that's where we're at. I'm looking forward to working on this. I think it'll be fun. It's really a no, unless there's some unusual problem. It should be a low stress build. It should just more or less go together, and I shouldn't really have to modify anything on it. That's my goal, because I'm getting tired of modifying. I've been working on other projects, and it seems like it's one modification after another, and I'm really burned out on that. I just want to slap something together, so let's hope for that. And that's what we got here. That's what I'm working on. This is the next project, and that's it. We'll catch you later.